Memories of war can be difficult but painful.
But as John Lauritsen shows us, a Vietnam vet in Otter Tail County is learning that fellow soldiers will follow through even a half century after their mission ends.
I signed a huge contract for $13,000 with the Atlanta Falcons.
John Norgaard's path to Vietnam actually began on the football field. A standout quarterback at the University of Minnesota Morris, he had a tryout with the Atlanta Falcons. Making the team meant playing in the NFL. Getting cut meant going to war.
When Norm Van Brocklin called me in to cut me, he says, "Swede, what do you think you're going to do now?" And I said, "Well, I'm afraid I'm going to be going to Vietnam."
He became a medic who spent 13 months and 7 days in Vietnam. And like many soldiers, John saw things he'd rather not remember.
It was very tough on me, but I think it would have been very tough had I not had Eleanor.
Very proud of him. He was one of the older guys in his unit, and he took care of a lot of other people.
And he was recognized for it.
He was directly responsible for saving the lives of several soldiers.
When the day finally came to go home in the spring of '71, John packed up his medals and memories and mailed them back to the States. The problem is, they never made it home.
Most of the stuff didn't matter until all of a sudden you get older and older and say, geez, you know, that would be neat.
Years went by with no sign of John's Vietnam box. But a couple states over in Michigan, Peter Lundberg and his wife Joan were trying to solve a decades-long mystery.
I'm amazed at it. I can't believe it's been in our basement all this time.
Peter was the postal clerk for John's company, though the men never met. All Peter knew was that for 52 years, a soldier's box had been sitting in his basement with no address on it.
I had a name, and that's about all there was.
Peter thinks John's address may have been torn off when soldiers were going through the mail during inspections. Not knowing where to send it, he took it home, but it never completely left his mind.
I had to get the mail through, deliver that mail.
So a few years ago, Peter's son did research on the name John Norgaard and sent an email to someone he thought was a relative. Turns out it was John's daughter. That email got stuck in her spam folder. 4 years after it was sent, she finally saw the message and responded.
It's kind of hard to put into words to finally, like it really actually happened.
The two veterans began sending letters to each other, and just before Memorial Day, it was agreed that Peter would drive to John and deliver his mail in person.
You've heard the term snail mail. I thought this is really slow, but at least I have it. But when he brought the box, still I didn't know what was in it.
That's where things really got interesting, with the Lundbergs and Eleanor watching.
It's an X-Acto knife.
John pulled out random memory after random memory from his time at war.
Tapes of the football games after the year we both graduated.
But the further down he got, he began to realize what he'd been missing. A Purple Heart, a Bronze Star, and then at the very bottom of the box, the Medal of Valor, earned while under enemy fire.
If any of them are going to bring tears to my eyes, this is the one that means the most, because I lost some soldiers on that evening when I earned this.
The two families talked for hours that day. For Peter Lundberg, it was mission accomplished after half a century.
Tears. He had tears. I had tears. And Eleanor had tears.
It's just about carrying through with things in your life. Finally, we got that one to check off.
In Otter Tail County, John Lauritsen, WCCO News.
Families plan to visit again later this month.
I hope they do. Incredible.
Right?
Wow.